Good evening. Thank you so much for joining us here on KTM Friday Briefing. It's a great pleasure having your company on this 18th day of March 2016. My name is Betty Okari. I trust that you've had a great day. If not, I'm telling you, in the next 1.5 hours, I'm going to try and make it better all by myself. Well, tonight we have, of course, the latest news coming to us from across the country. But also, very interestingly, we have our guest anchors. And this time round, I have two lovely ladies. I'm talking about Miss World Siaya and Miss World Nyamira. Now they're here for a very good reason, and we'll be talking about that shortly. Also remember that Willis the Word Master is going to be joining me shortly, and he's going to be telling us, do we say onion or onion? Do interact with me. The hashtag, of course, is Friday Briefing. I'll be very glad to share your responses on our BQ and everything. So for now, let me bring in one of the guest anchors, Karibu Sana. Strut it, girl, strut it. All right, you have to show me how to do the ones, the ones and twos like that.
Yes, catwalk.
So, and then, you have this elegance, me, I'm just all over the place, but you're so composed and everything. It's great to see. This is Mercy Mokera. She is Miss World
Kenya Nyamira
County. Miss World Siaya is still getting her makeup done. She wants to look the best, right?
Yes.
Are you excited to be here?
Very excited.
All right.
Very, very
What is
excited.
the one thing that you can tell me about Nyamira County that we probably do not know?
Nyamira County contributes a great percentage to the agriculture of this country.
Okay.
So it contributes too much to the economy of the country.
A lot of bananas, I know.
Yes.
And so much more.
Yeah, and so much more.
All right, so are you ready to be our guest anchor? Are you ready to read the news? As long as you don't take my job, I'm good.
I'm very ready, very ready.
All right, so we'll get to know about them a lot more in about 15 minutes. But for now, we want to take a look at the highlights.
Just look at the names of the people who have been appointed. And ask him, which nation, which United Kenya are you talking about?
Court accuses the presidency of disregarding the constitution in parastatal appointments.
I want to see the private insurance companies allowing all of us to be able to access healthcare even in public institutions.
We have scored highly. CSs argue on day 2 of government self-assessment.
Yule simba karukia ule jamaa kajirol mpaka chini akaenda kaanguka chini.
Niliona simba ikiwafukuza watu.
60-year-old man is mauled by stray lion from the Nairobi National Park.
Sasa sijui saa hizi nitamuona aje akianza kuhubiri, kwa sababu wanaenda huko akihubiri ati tujichunge kama vijana. Sasa sielewi vijana peke yao ndo wanajichunga na wazao wajichunge.
And a pastor in Bungoma County trespasses to his colleague's marital territory.
Very interesting stories that we have for you today. And our sign language interpreter is Marisha Owiti. Now, the National Assembly is next week set to carry out thorough amendments on the Election Act. The amendments may see a paradigm shift in the August 2017 general election. Meanwhile, former presidential candidate Peter Kenneth says IEBC must undertake immediate and thorough reforms if the 2017 general election is to be free, fair and transparent. Kenneth says the March 7th Malindi and Kericho by-elections eroded the confidence of Kenyans on IEBC. Duncan Kayamba opens our bulletin with that story.
It's the events that marred both the Malindi parliamentary and Kericho senatorial by-elections that have once again dragged the Electoral Commission IEBC to yet another round of criticism. IEBC's confidence barometer has been deflated by independent party KANU, which raised claims that Kericho senatorial by-election results were manipulated by Jubilee, which IEBC went ahead to declare anyway.
IEBC was totally complicit to save face for some senior politician in the region.
What transpired, unfortunately, was a total farce, mockery of the democratic process.
The Commission is instructing will be constituting the Code of Conduct Enforcement Committee to commence the process of invoking the appropriate sanction against the party.
2013 presidential candidate Peter Kenneth has condemned IEBC, saying instead of the poll agency confronting KANU, it should be analyzing the claims item by item.
I hate to imagine what the people in Kericho who believe in all those KANU numbers are feeling right now. So for me, IEBC should not have rushed to deny, should have rushed to investigate and say, we have received these claims, we are going to investigate them, and within 48 hours we'll come back with that. That's how you instill confidence in an institution.
National Assembly Majority Leader Aden Duale has also raised a red flag on IEBC.
My worry is not even who won and who lost. My worry is if that is how IEBC can conduct one constituency by-election with serious voter intimidation, with violence, with voter bribery, then it means that conducting the next general election is a serious uphill task. And IEBC must come out very, very clearly and assure the citizens of this country.
There is nothing that can be more hopeless than an electorate feeling that the electoral body is not straightforward. It's a hopeless situation.
He says the poll agency must be above reproach, which calls for imperative reforms before it's too late.
Because remember, as an institution, it can tear the country into parts within just a flip of seconds by just announcing the wrong things. Remember, it's that dangerous. So it's one institution that we need to protect, shield, and ensure the confidence is instilled to the people and that it is beyond reproach.
Next week, we'll see the National Assembly carry out amendments on the Election Act, a session expected to be heated as both Jubilee and CORD will battle out as each pushes what will suit their respective interests. Already the majority leader has lined up his two proposals, which will include pushing for an amendment that voters list for every polling station be published 48 hours to the date of elections so that people are able to confirm who is eligible to vote at that particular polling station.
The voter manual register, which is very accurate, is used, and every person who votes, his name is deleted, so that the number of votes cast is equivalent to the names that are in the register which have been deleted. Because right now you come and you are in the BVR, there's no way your name is deleted.
Duale says Parliament will ensure IEBC is provided with necessary resources and legislation, and therefore the onus is on them to conduct a credible election. All along, it is the opposition alliance that has been calling for reforms at IEBC before 2017 general election. With the new voices joining the bandwagon, definitely it means more political pressure on the Isaac Hassan-led commission. Duncan Haimba, KTN News.
Deputy President William Ruto has asked the opposition to stop what he termed as misguided criticism of the government's development agenda, but instead focus on selling the opposition agenda to Kenyans. Ruto, however, said the government welcomes constructive criticism that promotes development.
The Deputy President was the chief guest at Sugoi Girls Secondary School that is in its neighborhood in Uasin Gishu County. The government has had challenges in delivering on some of its promises to Kenyans, some of which have been described as ambitious. The opposition has continually blamed the government and accused it of condoning corruption and consequently hurting development. But Ruto insists the government is on course in implementing its programs.
Na katika mashindano ya siasa tukielekea mbele, iwe ni siasa ya sera, Jubilee wanasema wameweka stima kwa mashule yote. Wewe useme utakuja kufanya nini? Tumesema tunajenga barabara ya lami. Tumesema tunalipa examination fees ya watoto. Tumesema milk coolers tunasambaza kila mahali. Wewe sema yako. Waacha kusumbua sisi na ku-criticize, haijafanyika hii, haijafanyika ile. Wewe sema ile wewe utakuja kufanya, wachana na yetu.
Ruto says the government was busy fulfilling its mandate and had no time to waste on empty rhetoric. Leaders present urged Kenyans to discard tribalism and work towards a united country.
Siasa ya sasa ni siasa ya kuunganisha Wakenya. Tuungane, tuwe kitu kimoja, ndio pamoja tuweze kujenga taifa letu la Kenya.
Lete siasa ikagawa watu wetu kwa njia ya ukabila, njia ya kidini, njia ya mambo mengine.
Haya maneno ya eti bonde la ufa litoe chama chake, Nyanza iwe na chama chake, Central kuwe na chama, watu wa pwani wawe na chama, vyama tofauti ndio imetugawanya sisi katika misingi ya kikabila.
Ruto is expected to lead other Jubilee leaders in a Thanksgiving ceremony at Kericho Teachers College Saturday, following the positive outcome of Kericho senatorial by-election. KANU party that recently engaged in a do-or-die campaign with Jubilee during the campaigns had also planned a Thanksgiving rally at Kericho's Moi Gardens on Saturday. However, it has since postponed the function. Patrick Amimo, KTN News.
5 cabinet secretaries were taken to task in an open forum over President Uhuru Kenyatta's first 3 years in office. The CSs for Health, Agriculture, ICT, Sports and Public Service were engaging the public at KICC in discussion revolving around their performance, of course, of the Jubilee government since it took office. KTN's Timothy Otieno with the details.
With just 17 months left to the next general election, the Jubilee administration continued with a self-assessment exercise at the KICC that saw 4 cabinet secretaries and 1 permanent secretary engage the public in a discussion aimed at drawing lines between achievements and challenges that have faced the implementation of government programs in respect to the Jubilee Manifesto of 2013.
My take and what I want to leave with you.
First on the day's agenda was Cleopa Mailu, who's just 4 months old as the head of the Ministry of Health, a ministry that prides itself with the introduction of free maternal care in public hospitals countrywide. But the ministry is lagging behind when it comes to matters treatment of chronic illnesses such as cancer that has seen many miss out on crucial radiology sessions, and one that the government had promised to have sorted out.
I want to believe that not going to public institution to seek healthcare will be a matter of choice, not because the healthcare services offered in those facilities are either poor or of inferior quality. I want to see the private insurance companies allowing all of us to be able to access healthcare even in public institutions. We have an ICU, HDU in Nakuru today with supporting patients. That is what I want to say we are going to give Kenyans in the next 2 years.
The challenges facing the health sector perhaps inflated by the transfer of health services to the counties, resulting in medics on several occasions downing their tools over salary disputes. But the Ministry of Health is not the only one with a bag full of goodies for Kenyans yet to be delivered. Sports and Culture Cabinet Secretary Hassan Wario was at pains to explain why 3 years on, no stadium has been modernized, despite the Jubilee Alliance promising to have at least 5 new state-of-the-art stadia by the end of the first term in office.
Part of the 3 Jubilee stadia, one was to be done in Mombasa. And we were targeting Shimalatewa, the prisons or the school. Out of the 3, Nairobi and Nairobi, Eldoret and Mombasa was the most difficult to get land and to get any cooperation. In fact, we were at the point where we were thinking of moving to Kilifi because nobody was cooperating with us to give us land to build this beautiful stadium, which we wanted also to add aquatic features to it.
The agriculture docket headed by CS Willie Bett was lauded for implementing subsidy on fertilizer that has seen prices of the same reduced from 6,000 shillings per bag to just 3,000 in 3 years.
And the critical aspect as far as that is concerned is to make agriculture production lower, to reduce the cost of producing agricultural commodities in this country.
I hope this government will be remembered for having enhanced the ease of accessing public services in a dignified manner, accessing services that are very efficient, very customer-friendly services across the country 24/7, anywhere from anywhere in the world. under the Huduma centers.
The session continues next week with the Cabinet Secretaries for Tourism, Industrialization, Lands, Water, Education, Environment, Devolution, Interior and Defense scheduled to make presentations of their respective scorecards, with the outcome of the symposium believed to weigh heavy on the State of the Nation address by President Uhuru Kenyatta, meant to take place later on this month. Timothy Otieno, KTN.